Good morning, students. Myself, Rupinder Kaur, and today we are going to start with a new topic of the same chapter, the Regional Kingdoms Part 1. Earlier, we have talked about the North Indian rulers, so today we are going to talk about some other ruler who tried to invade India. From 1000 onwards, many invaders entered India across the mountain passes in the northwest. Mahmud, the ruler of Ghazni, led the first series of invasion in India. Mahmud was the ruler of Ghazni, now in Afghanistan. He needed a large army to make Ghazni the most powerful kingdom in the region. He had heard about the wealth of northern India, so he decided to raid India to collect money to raise a large army. In span of 26 years, Mahmud invaded India 17 times. His early raids were against the Hindu Shahi rulers of Punjab. As you have also heard about that India was earlier known as Golden Bird, or in Hindi we always said Sone ki Chidiya. He also raided Mathura, Kannauj and Somnath and stripped all its wealth. Even he carried away all the precious stone, and with them he built beautiful mosques, libraries and museums in the Ghazni. Like Ghazni, Gaur was a small kingdom in present-day Afghanistan. Mahmud had defeated the ruler of Gaur and had made him his vassal. After the death of Mahmud, Muzuddin Muhammad made Gaur independent over again. He annexed all his territories. He was also known in history as Mahmud Gori. He was an ambitious ruler, just like Mahmud. Soon, he decided to conquer Punjab as it was easily being defeated by him. So, in 1190, he conquered Punjab. The Rajput rulers of neighboring kingdom of Delhi and Ajmer, Prithviraj Chauhan, prepared to face him in a battle. That battle was the battles of Tehran, as we have talked earlier. Moving up further is the battles of Tehran. In 1191, Mahmud Gori and Prithviraj Chauhan clashed at Tehran, where Gori get defeated in his first battle of Tehran. This proved to be a grave blunder by Prithviraj, as soon after his defeat, Gauri once again regrouped in 1192 and fought with Prithviraj, and this time Prithviraj was defeated by him. Apart from this, struggle for Kannauj. Kannauj was the most important city in North India. Since 8th century, the Palas, the Gurjara Pratiharas and Rashtrakutas were engaged in a three-parted struggle to control Kannauj. This struggle lasted for over 2 centuries and weakened all three dynasties. Its location was such that whoever held Kannauj could control the resources of the entire Ganga valley. Last but not the least, the Palas. They were the followers of Buddhism. Palas ruled the region covered by the present day's states of Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Gopal was the first ruler. There was great prosperity during the region of the Palas king. They had also built stupas and gave money to the monasteries. Devpala was another powerful ruler of the dynasty. Moving up further is the Deccans. The area between the Narmada and Krishna rivers is known as Deccan. The Rashtrakutas were very powerful here. Rashtrakutas. They ruled the region of present-day Maharashtra. They fought against the Palas and the Gurjara Pratiharas in the north. They were patrons of art, architecture, and literature. The famous temples at Ellora and rock cut caves at Elephant were carved during the region of Rashtrakutas. The rulers also encouraged the growth of regional languages, especially Kannada. Moving up further is Yadavs of Devgiri. Bhilima founded the kingdom in 12th century. Soon, the Yadavs consolidated themselves in the region between the Narmada and Godavari rivers. A flourishing trade made the kingdom rich and prosperous. In 14th century, Khilji rulers annexed their territories. Moving up next were Chalukyas of Kalyani, were known as Chalukyas or the Western Chalukyas. The greatest ruler was Vikramanka. They built many temples at Ehihol, Badami. Next were Kakatiyas. Their kingdoms lay between the Godavari and Krishna rivers. Marco Polo tells us that Kakatiyas rulers were followers of Shaivism, though Jainism and Vaishnavism. The rulers patronized Sanskrit and Telugu in their region. That's all for today. Thank you so much. See you soon with another topic. Thank you so much.